Today on FYI, we will listen to the sounds of the Holy Spirit Folk Group, take a trip to Little Shelter Animal Rescue and Adoption Center, and rock out at Brooklyn's Fast Lane Studios.
Also, FYI will pull your strings at Goat on a Boat Puppet Theater, pay a visit to the Little Flower Family Center, and last but not least, find out who let the dogs out at the Rough House. This is For Your Island.
From Montauk to Massapequa, Bayside to Bayridge, and all points in between. This is For Your Island, a show about the people and places of Long Island.
Welcome to the 2007 season of For Your Island. Imagine replacing the organ at your church with a six-piece band. At the Holy Spirit Roman Catholic Church, their folk group brings the music and its parishioners to life. Let's see how these folks in New Hyde Park put their religion to a beat.
The mission of the folk group, well, it starts with the music, but it's more than that. It's an outreach. It's prayer. It's, you know, people will come to you with problems. People will talk to you. You'll run into somebody in Stop and Shop, and they'll talk to you about something. Oh, that's your so-and-so from the folk group. They might not even know your name.
The folk group adds a great deal of inspiration to the congregation. It inspires people to become closer with God and to listen to the message a little more clear.
We are a group of almost 20 people, and through singing it's prayer singing. It enlightens other people in the congregation to join in with us and just to reflect and to pray more deeply during the Mass, I think, also.
What makes the folk group different from other masses is that we don't use an organ. And I generally think, this is my preference, that the organ kind of is a dreary kind of instrument. I like guitars. We have percussion. We have a bass player. We have someone who plays mandolin, a flute player. You know, it just makes, from my perspective, to be more joyful.
There is a sense of community at Holy Spirit that you cannot get anyplace else. Singing here is prayer, really, and we're helping the community pray. And it's also a sense of release, and no matter what happens during the course of the day, or the entire week for that matter, when I come here, it's like all that is gone, and you're just opening up and singing and praying to God.
It's amazing that we come from many, many different backgrounds, and yet we blend so well together. And this is what's kept me here for so many years, basically.
It's a prayer, being in the folk group. When you sing, you pray twice as much. So it's praying, and it does open my mind and my heart more spiritually.
We sing the Our Father, and that's just such a phenomenal spiritual experience. And it's never the same. It's wherever I'm at in my life, how it speaks to me.
Singing and playing in the folk group makes me feel like a whole person. Is it easy to live in a church with certain people? No, it's not. It's a challenge. It challenges me, hopefully, to be a better person.
I just believe that the people that are in the ministry are real. They don't look like they're there for applause or, look at me, I'm so great. And everybody's so human, and they'll always reach out to you. It's not just their musical abilities, they're true Christians from what I see from the individuals that I've had the privilege to get to meet over the years.
The mission of the folk group should always be to serve the community as a ministry, to help them pray better. When it becomes, and I have been in groups that it's been, people just singing so that other people can look at them and hear them, that's when it's gone wrong.
The mission of the folk group basically is to invite the congregation to sing, to bring us closer, you know, to bring us closer as a family and as a community to God, to basically reach out and, you know, touch lives.
It's alive. I don't feel like I'm going to a funeral. I really feel like I'm going to a celebration, and it's always different. And the readings and the music always coincide so beautifully, and it's a life-giving experience.
These people seem so passionate about their music and religion, you can feel the energy. If you would like to get more into the spirit, the folk group sings and prays every Saturday evening at 5 p.m. at the Holy Spirit Church in New Hyde Park.
Are you looking for a special friend to take home to Mom? That special someone could be waiting for you right now at the Little Shelter Animal Rescue and Adoption Center in Huntington. Little Shelter is home to over 300 cats and dogs and is also the oldest no-kill animal home on Long Island. Grab your umbrella, it's raining cats and dogs.
Little Shelter was actually here before any of the houses. We've been here since 1927. The majority of our dogs and cats are rescued from town shelters. Little Shelter has a huge cattery. We have more than 300 cats and kittens. Unlike most shelters, they don't live in cages. Wherever they want to be, they can be, so they get to roam around and live comfortably. Besides our Long Island facility here in Huntington, Little Shelter has a sanctuary in upstate New York, 110 acres of land, and is currently home to about 12 dogs. The reason we built a sanctuary is because we're a no-kill shelter. Our volunteers and dog socializers and cat staff work with the animals one-on-one to help bring them up to a standard where they'll be able to go into a home without too many problems.
I know that Little Shelter treats them the best that they can be treated. I enjoy every hour that I spend here because I enjoy being with the dogs. I enjoy seeing them develop before they become adopted.
I walk the dogs, play with them, spend time with them, get them out of their cages so they're not sitting in there all day by themselves. You become attached to an animal when you've been here for a while and they've been here for a while and you spend a lot of time with them. You do become emotionally attached. Some that come from bad homes that are just here and they go to great homes and they thrive so much there that it's just they're all success stories.
We have a very strict adoption policy. People have told us that it's harder to adopt a dog or a cat from us than it is to adopt a child. When they come in, they have to fill out an adoption application. The reason being is that we're here to stop the overpopulation problem, not add to it, and the only way to do that is to spay and neuter. Our total was 500 dogs for the year, and cats are a little slower, so I'm going to estimate between cats and kittens maybe 300. Little Shelter responded to the Hurricane Katrina effort by sending a team down to the hurricane region. We brought back over 40 animals from Hurricane Katrina. The last transport of animals came in March after the hurricane, and we currently have 7 animals still here.
I know there's a couple here still and they're coming along, ones that, it is timely. They got scarred from there, so they're all, coming along great with the socialization of the staff and volunteers.
People should first go to their local animal shelter or a place like Little Shelter, because by doing that you're saving a life.
I think I'll take one of each, but I may need a bigger dorm room. Those volunteers put so much heart into their work. Now all these cats and dogs need is a loving home. To learn more about how you can adopt a dog or cat from Little Shelter, go to www.littleshelter.com.
From springtime to St. Patrick's Day, the month of March can mean many things. In this edition of 60 Seconds On, FYI hit the bricks to find out what March means to you.
I'd say the month of March to me means partying on St. Patty's Day and not studying for midterms.
The month of March means to me in like a lion, out like in like a lamb and out like a lion. I don't know.
The month of March to me means St. Patrick's Day, which means that I won't remember anything that happens.
The month of March means it's almost spring and it's also my birthday.
The month of March means to me spring break is for all my friends and none for me.
The month of March is cold and windy.
Okay, March means the longest month of the year ever. It sucks, it's cold, there are no breaks. I hate the month of March.
The month of March means Yankee baseball all the way. We're going to the World Series, #1.
The month of March means to me the beginning of spring, but it's still too confusing because it's always still very cold.
The month of March makes me think of the March of the Penguins, and it's cold enough now for them to be happy.
To me, March means March Madness.
FYI found the perfect place for you aspiring musicians out there. Fastlane Studios in Brooklyn helps promote diverse artists and discover local sounds. Fastlane gives bands a comfortable space to practice and record. Listen up for the newest sounds emerging from the studio.
On Long Island is varied. You have to look at it just as Long Island is a varied place, starting from at the gateway to Manhattan to Montauk. So as you go, you see different slices of America, essentially, all in a microcosm. I started Fastlane with a very simple concept. If you get pigeonholed musically, once that style of music runs its course, you kind of get thrown out with the bathwater. Most studios, when you walk into a studio, there is a set of gear in the room, and that's what you have to work with. Fastlane has a huge amount of gear outside the room that if what is in the room is not to your liking, we can sort of retrofit the room to make it the way that style of band wants to be. And in Fastlane, it's like Brooklyn. It has extremes. I mean, on the one far extreme, you have ultra screaming, yelling death metal.
There seems to be this undying love of metal and heavy music around here that the kids can't break out of. It seems like there's just such a strong dark death metal, heavy metal scene around here that it's kind of hard that if you're not in that vein to fit in or to even like make a dent, because the kids are just dying to hear that. That's the kind of shows they want to go to. The young crowds are really hyped up about the heavy scene. And we thought, like, you know, as the years went by, it might die down a little bit, but it really hasn't. There's a really strong heavy scene in Brooklyn, New York. You can't grow up here and not hear hip-hop music. You know, it's not like we're in a small town and you just listen to what you like and that's it. You could hear elements of other styles of music in what we do because we grew up in such a, you know, a hub of the world. You know, we're skipping a jump from Manhattan, so, you know, we're in the heart of the universe.
Upon a time. Music lives and dies on a scene. A scene is created by starting with talented musicians, then having a place to hone their craft and a place to expose what they've done. So obviously my part of that is to give people a place that is a comfortable place to practice and learn and make their mistakes. That's really the biggest thing that I can bring back, is that it's a business that you have to do because of a love of musicians and music, because it just doesn't make any other sense any other way. It doesn't make any sense any other way.
Nothing left to give, left to give.
Brooklyn is truly a musical melting pot. I can't wait to catch those bands live. I can see them all making it big one day. And now it's time for an FYI fun fact.
Fun fact!
5 Points, also known as the Institute of Higher Burning, is a graffiti mural located at Jackson Avenue and Crane Street in Long Island City, Queens. The name 5 Points represents all 5 boroughs of New York City. Artists from all over the world, with permission given by the building's owner, are allowed to contribute their art to the industrial buildings.
Welcome back to For Your Island. Let me introduce you to a very different kind of theater at Goat on a Boat. Presented by Liz Joyce, this theater company incorporates creativity and self-expression for both kids and adults. Enjoy the classic tale of the 3 little pigs with a twist.
Inside. Big finish, here we go.
I lost my apartment in the city, and my sister was kind enough to let me come out to Sag Harbor and stay in her house while I was trying to figure out what to do next. And while I was out in Sag Harbor, I realized, this is a perfect place to have a puppet theater. While I was thinking about naming the theater, a friend of mine and I were out on Long Wharf, which is now it used to be a commerce place where all the ships would unload everything. But now it's just a big parking lot, but it's beautiful water views, and we were talking about houseboats and having gardens on boats, and my friend said, but you couldn't have a goat on a boat. And I said, oh my goodness, that's the name for the puppet theater, Goat on a Boat.
I book the musical acts. I bring acts from the city, children's bands out for, I book 1 a month for Goat on the Boat, and they come out and they perform. The music series we're hoping to book will be every Saturday in 1 month, we're not sure when, June, July, or August, where bands from the city or all over wherever Long Island come and play outside for children.
Well, these guys are a combination of carved basswood, fabric, and then their ears and his tail are made out of leather. So I try to build the extremities so they're not going to break, so they have flexibility.
I love that there's a message, and I love the music. She has guest musicians. My father's playing in the background on one, and sometimes there's a kazoo or harmonica. I love the music and the way it relates to the show, and I love the humor. I think the humor is for the adults, really, and the puppets are for the kids, and then when they're a little older, they get the storyline, and I think there's really something for everyone.
Well, Goat on the Boat is great because you come in and it's got playtime in the beginning. Her friends come all the time. She has a little bit of food and snacks for them, and they love the songs the most.
The kids should be enjoying it, but I really want the parents to have fun too, and that's what makes people come back, I think, is that there's something for the kids and the adults. They like, it's like Bugs Bunny. It's this humor that the little kids get, and something for the adults too.
My house is strong. Really? That's great, because that's about all we have left in the Hamptons.
The people that come here, they grow up with Goat on a Boat. Like, I've seen my first generation of kids come in as little teeny tinies, and now they're in kindergarten and first grade. And the thing that I notice is that you can sit down in front of a television and it just feeds you images and you watch it. But when you go see live theater, you're sitting in an audience and you're surrounded, and you feel the energy of this event that's happening. And I feel that Goat on a Boat, and this is part of our mission, it creates a lifelong love of theater. That children and their families, they come here and they focus and they watch, and they get caught up in just the magic of what live theater is. And it's very different than film or television. And I think that's a really important part of my job, and that makes me happy.
Go on a Boat is entertaining for all ages. Watch your favorite classic tale come alive with Liz and her puppets. For more details, visit goonaboat.org.
Little Flower Family Center houses and cares for foster children. Located in Wading River, this facility offers guidance and support for the children's needs and futures. For Your Island had the opportunity to shed light on this kind-hearted organization.
We have almost 1,000 foster kids through Little Flower, and some of them have come through this residential program, so they've done well here, and then they were able to flourish in a foster home. As chief executive, I'm responsible for everything. We have a great staff that's very dedicated, very caring individuals who really treat the kids and the developmentally disabled adults as they would their own family members.
I've been doing it going on 28, 29 years. I like it because I'm able to, to do hands-on stuff with the kids. It has its ups and downs, but basically I like it. I can affect change. And a lot of these kids, like the older boys over there, I knew them since they were like maybe, 7 years old.
Typically, a child is here about 18 months. These really are home-like settings. So in many other programs, some that have been popularized in the movies, or even the way Little Flower was 50, 60 years ago, there was more of a barracks operation. But Father John Fagan, who led this agency for over 40 years, converted the residential program to these more family-like cottage settings. We also try to assist them with what we call independent living skills, so that we'll prepare them for life after age 18. In some cases it includes college. We do provide scholarships, which may be modest, but we do our best.
Usually when I come in, I come in, see how things are going. I usually check the cottages, see how the kids are doing, how school went. Go in, talk to the staff, see how things went in the morning, how things are going in the daytime. Walk the kids from school about 3 o'clock, come down, make sure that they're in program. And after that, we make sure that if there's any recreational activities or whatever, that they're doing that. A lot of times they go to their therapy appointments or medical appointments. Usually around 6 o'clock they have dinner. And then they do their chores. And then usually about 7 o'clock, depending on what's going on, like this time of the year, the boys are big into their basketball. So they have basketball games Tuesdays and Thursdays. So we go down to the gym. Then about 8:30 they start winding down, and they come to settle down in the cottages.
I like it, but I feel like if I leave here, I'm gonna miss it a lot because I've been here for a while and I have a lot of memories from here that I like. And then they have the big trips near the end of the school year, and I like going on that. It's fun. We do morning routine, which is we brush our teeth, shower, clean your room, do your chore, and after we go to school, and when we come back from school, we just go in our rooms, have quiet time. That gives us a chance to get ready, clean our room, and do it. And after, do your chores. And then we have a little time to do other things, activities. And then we eat dinner, and we do more activities. And after that, we take meds, and we go to bed.
Well, we certainly will always be serving children who are in crisis of one kind or another, and trying to get them out of dangerous situations, or if they're in emotional distress, trying to give them hope and therapy so they have a better future.
The work and dedication of this organization's staff is something to be admired. Little Flower is a safe haven for the foster children on Long Island.
Are you looking for a vacation from your dog? Is your dog looking for a vacation from you? Then head on over to the Rough House. This doggy daycare offers everything your pup would need for a home away from home. Let's see a day in the life of one of these lucky canines.
Dogs make friends with each other, actually. They actually make bonds, and it doesn't necessarily the breed of dog. We have pit bulls that play with German Shepherds and poodles, and they do actually create very strong bonds with one another. And we have certain friends, and some of our pet owners will call before they make a reservation. They will ask if one of their dog's playmates are there. If they're not, they don't come to daycare. Primary service is doggy daycare. We cater to primarily young dogs between 1 and 3 years old. That's our general population here. And they're very exuberant and they're very playful. So traditionally, people leaving their dogs at home after a hard day of work, they come home and the dogs are jumping all over and they can't give them the exercise they need. So here at Doggy Daycare, we provide that service. Dogs being pack animals, meaning they're genetically predisposed to interact with at least other human beings or other animals. They very frequently think they're abandoned. They don't understand the concept that the pet owners are coming back. That manifests itself in destructive behavior. So what we do is we provide that pack in a very safe environment, meaning all our walls are fiberglass walls, we have rubber flooring. Quite frankly, my staff would prefer working with animals than people. That's just the nature of dog people. They love it here. And you get that sense immediately walking in the door.
What I like most about working here at Doggy Daycare is that it's fast-paced, there's a lot going on, and there's really no people and only animals. I am a camp counselor here and the dog group. It usually takes to groom a dog from start to finish about 3 hours. If you're lucky enough to get a good dog that'll stay for you on the table. Sometimes it's longer, sometimes it's a lot less.
My training began in the early 80s with the New York City Police Department, and from that point forward I've been involved with police dogs in law enforcement, private commercial business since the 9/11 tragedy in New York City. I was heavily involved with the military, with their bomb dog program, their military working dog program. My whole adult life I've been involved in dog training. There are many therapeutic benefits actually. Besides the obvious playfulness of our dogs, we do have some older dogs in the 5 to 10-year-old range who've developed arthritis from frankly laying around not doing anything. So by bringing them here and introducing them into these play groups, we've seen miraculous changes in the dogs. We have a various range of customers, from construction workers to doctors, everything in between. So our customer base is just about the cross-section of Long Island.
The best thing actually are the people that work here. They're wonderful. They're really wonderful people, and they make you feel like your dog is in good hands. My dog's name is Louie. He's about 4 pounds. And he's a short-haired Chihuahua, and he needs to socialize with other dogs, so I like to bring him here for that. It's the greatest place in the world for him. His mommy likes the rough house, too.
When I give people advice, and I give them a model to follow, and they do that, and it's tremendously rewarding. Then the dogs become a very integral part of the family. I can almost find in every dog a uniqueness.
I think I'm actually jealous of those dogs. I wish there was a place like that for college students.
Well, that's all for today's show. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Sarah Rizvani.
And I'm Shannon Bennett. We leave you with scenes from Sunken Meadow State Park. See you next time when we show you even more hidden corners of Long Island.
This has been an HTV Entertainment presentation.